Hello and welcome to Rockman's Fika. I'm an eager athlete wondering how the weekend's race is gonna be. So I'm here with the main hosts of the event. First off, Mr. Thor.
Hello, nice to see you, Lloyd. Are you ready for the weekend?
I am really ready. I've been looking forward to this since I came to the finish line last year doing a short. So now I'm doing a long. So I'm stressed, but also it's a really big happening for me. You're not alone. You've got somebody else here.
Hey there, Marcus. So I'm co-race director of the event, and I am from the U.S. I've done the event 3 times, and this year I'm going to be completely behind the scenes. So I'm looking forward to it.
So you're the guy that's been on Instagram and just showing off the how the different routes have been and stuff like that?
Yep, sure have. I haven't posted as much as I wanted to yesterday because we were in the fjord for all day, marking the course and making sure that racers know their way. And we'll be back out there again on Thursday. But yeah, we'll definitely be posting more to show you more of the course and more of the event.
Yeah, it's because I think what's normal about Norway is that the weather is always a surprise. So you can have something from the weather forecast is pretty good, but at the moment it's a bit scary. I saw you post a video yesterday where you tried to go over a water fountain sort of thing.
Yeah, it was. So we've gotten lots of rain lately, and you're completely correct that the weather, if you don't like it, it's going to change. We started off with rain and clouds and a lot, and it ended up at the end of the day being beautiful and sunny. But the video that you're talking about was us attempting to do a creek crossing to see if it was safe enough for the racers, and maybe if we needed to choose an alternate path. But there's lots of water flowing on the course for sure.
The benefit of a lot of water is that you will be easily hydrated throughout the race day with natural Norwegian spring water. So you shouldn't have any worries in that department.
I think it's going to be difficult to be dehydrated this time around.
Yeah.
So, but let's just go over to the things that is important. I mean, people have come from all over the world to do this. Do you know how many countries?
Well, we haven't counted the number of countries yet, but we are looking at least tenfolds over different countries. We have people coming from Dubai, US, France, Germany, Sweden, of course, Denmark, Netherlands, Norway, of course,
Of
important.
course, yeah.
It's a big international event, and that's great. And we have more than 160 people signing up, participating. So it will be one of the biggest Rockman events to date. So, and it's going to be great. And it's also a little bit challenging this year because we have altered the course. We had to flip it around. So we are starting at Flørli and finishing at the Pulpit Rock Base Camp area. And that is also challenging for us as race organizers because it's a lot of new logistics we need to figure out without having any previous blueprint that we can somewhat
It makes it interesting for you guys also. I mean, there's new challenges and new things. Do you? So this will be my first long, and I don't know. I think doing the short last year that this is something I want to do again and again. Not all of the swim runs I've been to is. Some of them are just experiences that I felt like, oh, it was wonderful to do once. Just to have it done. But I feel like Rockman is something that, me as an athlete would say that I will come back next year just to have it again because it's such a nature experience. I mean, it's you get all of the great things in our region at the same time. And the funny thing is, I haven't even been to Preikestolen before, so this will be my first time at Preikestolen.
Yes, and also part of what's going to make it a little bit challenging this year is that we are visiting the Pulpit Rock, or Preikestolen as you say in Norwegian, in the afternoon. And Preikestolen is one of the most visited tourist attractions in this area, with more than close to 700,000 people every year hiking to that site. And that they do during the summertime from pretty much May until late August. So it could be as much as 10 to 15,000 people hiking the path on Saturday if it's a great day. So that's also quite interesting for athletes coming. So there are some precautions that we need to do in that manner. First of all, you're not allowed to push anyone over the pulpit. That's kind of a key one. Secondly, we need to respect that we are not on a closed race course. It's open for everyone. So if you have to slow down slightly at that point, that's not where you go hard, because you might have to do a lot of zigzagging. Yeah, but that will be equal for all of the, let's call it the competing teams that are there early. They will have the same type of experience because it will be crowded on the pulpit.
Yeah, I was out there yesterday, and there were quite a few people, and we had rain all morning, so the amount of tourists that were out there yesterday was very low compared to what it normally is, and I still had to zigzag around people. So I would personally like to ask the racers to please be respectful of the folks and the tourists that are hiking. We're swim runners, and we want swim run to have a positive name. So if you're out there, please be courteous to the tourists that are hiking, and please, like Tor says, don't be shoving people or pushing people while you're out there. And
even going off the pulpit down those stairs, because it will be a lot of people coming up, and these are not as experienced users of nature. Let's call it that way. So that's a key element for us from a safety perspective. Because if we don't behave on Saturday, this will be the last Rockman we host.
Right.
Because we need the local community support. And if we are seen as being bullies, we will not be able to run the course that way. And then we'll have to do more trails, and that will make it will be impossible logistically.
Yeah, and also it's such a wonderful, a possibility to get all of those regional nature things in one go, so we don't want that. I think the good thing about swimrun is that when we come there with our goggles and everything on our heads, we sort of make people smile in the beginning also. Yeah. So if we can make them keep smiling when we pass them, then that's a great thing, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go over to the practical stuff. So it was Wednesday now when we're talking, and I haven't gotten my packet pickup yet. But I want to do that. How do I get my stuff, and what do I bring?
Okay, first of all, we will send out a newsletter later today or tomorrow at the latest with all the information that we're covering today. Part of that is obviously where do you pick up your backpack, your race gear. That this year will happen outdoors. We will go down to Stavanger Harbor. We will put up the Rockman tents, so you will see that visibly. And we will do that at the same location as where you board the ferry or board the bus. This is to make sure everybody knows where to meet up the next day.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful for me.
And we have been a little bit cautious about not posting that location yet, because we have been looking at the weather forecast. Because if it's pouring down, the alternative is to go to your gym, actually, Lloyd, and do it there. Nice. So that's kind of the backup.
I hope it rains then.
Exactly.
Do some squats before they go for Rockman,
there
maybe,
you go.
or something.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's kind of the plan. Mm-hmm. That will open 5 o'clock on Friday. We will be there until 8:30, 9 o'clock. But all of those will be in the newsletter. So it's important that all the athletes look out for the newsletter, because those have a tendency to fall into people's spam folders and so forth.
Yeah. I think just a quick note there that the PT service where the location would be, if not, it's not that far from the centrum, but it is like 1 kilometer. So it's a little walk, but it should be easy to find. And if it so happens, we will make sure that it's really visible. I'll make a video or something that shows where you go. But the forecast for Friday is pretty good, so I think it will be downtown.
And the key is that we want people to actually meet at where the departure place is, because we have had athletes in the past meeting at the wrong site, and the ferry is about to leave, and they're coming rushing over next to the big church and trying to catch the ferry. So it's to make it easier for the athletes. That's why we have done it this way.
Yeah, because I actually thought it was with the towferja last time.
Because you were the guy running.
But that's typical. I mean, for me, so that it is good to know where it is. Just because you're stressed enough when you're going to do this. Then, we're gonna run around in the nature all day. We're prepared for something else.
Yes, and what you need to bring to registration is your intended wetsuit, so we know you have a wetsuit. You need to bring the medical kit, so we know that you have a medical kit with you. And I think that's about it, which is important to bring.
Is it one or two medical kits? Is it enough one per team?
It's one per racing unit. And I say racing unit because you have some solo athletes that race alone. They also need to bring their medical kit. But as a team athlete or team unit, it's sufficient with one per unit.
So a little bit. So there's two different kinds. Going into I'm just thinking about the details straight away. I'm thinking about the ropes. Is that what's the word for it?
Tether.
Tether. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that do you have to have those, or
No.
it's just recommended for some places?
It's recommended to use. It's easier to stay together because as athletes you need to be within 10 meters apart all through the day, or in speaking distance on land. The tether helps you to even out pace, and it helps you to stay close to your athlete, basically. Helps people navigate on the fjord. So it's easy, but there are a few restrictions on the tether. That's on the first ferry jump, because that will be chaos if everybody jumps with tether and people jumping on each other and they are stuck with each other. So first fjord swim is no tether for both short and long course. Rest of the day, it's up to you.
Up to you. Oh, that's good. That's good.
So will we? That's a great question. Will we allow them to tether up after they've jumped off the ferry?
Yeah, when they are done 50, 100 meters on the So when you feel that you're not getting tucked into other people.
Right. So jump off the ferry, get away from the ferry, and then if you want to sit up and tether up, you can.
Yeah. Sizable distance from the ferry or
Right.
from the for the pier jump.
Right.
It's 160 people, as you say, starting out. It would be, get a rope around somebody's neck or something. I think maybe later on, it would be nice if everybody just ran collected through the whole route. But
Right.
I'm pretty sure that there will be a little bit difference between the winner and the rest.
Yes.
So the same place then where we pick up everything, we show off our gear, is the same place that the boat is leaving on Saturday morning.
Yes. And what you will be provided at registration is a race bib based on your color or category. And we have 3 colors. We have orange, which is long course team, irrespectively if you are the male, female, mixed. Long course is orange for team. And then we have short course team is white or bluish white bibs. And solo athletes, irrespectively of distance, is green. Because we had in the past, having 4 colors will make it complicated for everybody. So we have 3 colors: green, orange, and white.
Yeah, because now that the route is different, it's actually maybe a little bit easier also to split that up. I understood that you don't do the Fløli if on the short course. Is that correct?
Yes, they start at Songesand and go to the pulpit. So they'll visit the pulpit this year. They haven't done that in the past. Yeah.
So just a quick question, because I find it hilarious when I was running last time. I didn't understand the word Rockman before I did the run, and I realized what a character you are, because you the terrain you're running on, that's something maybe if people have seen some videos and stuff and seen, maybe got a little impression on what it is. But if I should explain how you've been thinking here when you did these routes, is that if it's flat and nice to run on, you're either off course or there's 5 meters to the next turn. That's how I interpret that. I think that the Rockman is just but what are you thinking when you're making these routes? You have any?
Well, first of all, the route is not made by us. It's made by the legend himself, Rockman.
Of course.
So we race along the path of the legend. So we as race directors, we have just been vested in looking after his legacy. So the course that we are about to embark on this weekend is basically what we call the journey home. So we race from far out in the fjord back towards his homelands, which is around the Fantahol and the village Caven, right? So what we will experience this year is Stairways to Heaven. We will experience the fjord crossing.
Mm-hmm.
And note, if you think that's heavy, Imagine Rockman doing that with a rock, right?
Big boulder. Yeah.
Big boulder, right? We will have Sunshine Hill, downhill this time, not uphill. We will have the Seaside Sprint, opposite way, which is probably his favorite spot on the course, because he is full of humor. He called it sprint, and trust me, it's not a sprint segment by all means.
Absolutely not.
I find it, I find it hilarious that who named these things. I mean, Brattli. Well, that translates to not flat, basically. And I was like asking my friend, is that a flat area? No, it's not. There is so many cool, routes. I mean, people should bring a camera. Just do the mind camera, of course. Don't bring a camera; that will be wet. But I mean, it's beautiful, and I'm looking so much forward to running that path of the legend then. So.
And one thing that to add in there, since we're doing the course in reverse, and it's something that I experienced yesterday, specifically with the Seaside Sprint section, is that if you've done this race before, so if you're watching this and you've done this race before and you're coming back again, it's completely different. Doing it in reverse, I thought that it would be, oh yeah, I'm familiar with this. Doing it different was like a completely different course. Yeah. I was amazed, and Brendan, who was out there with us, I told him probably at least 10 times while we were out there that, God, this is so different. It's like I didn't recognize sections of it because it was just doing it in reverse. It's amazing how different it is.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we can sum up. It will be beautiful day.
Right. Yep.
So Friday, we do have the race registration 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
To 9 o'clock.
5 to 9. That's important.
And then in the morning, you need to show up for the ferry or bus departure.
So when
ferry leaves 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
And that means not 5:02, 5 sharp.
Yes.
So that means you have to be there at least 10 to 5.
Yeah. 5:30 is good, probably. Just 4:30, sorry.
Yes.
4:30, yes.
Yes, I was like, what?
At 5:30, you're going to be sitting there waving.
We're swimming the first part. I wouldn't.
Yes. And for the short course on the bus, departs 8:30. So you have to be there on time, ahead of time.
Yeah. So half hour before 5 is a good time to aim at.
1:45, that's fine.
Yeah.
1:45. You will then board the ferry or the bus. And then what's important is neither the bus or the ferry will come back to any of the location that you will arrive back at. So you need to drop your dry clothes bag at a van we have next to where you enter the ferry or the bus.
Bag.
1 bag per racing unit.
Bag.
Small bag.
Singular bag.
If not, that's one of my biggest worries this week, is that people will come with their airline luggage, like 2 units pieces, and I have to start going into the transport business. That's my biggest risk before this weekend. Looking at,
I need to bring my wardrobe, or I'm not coming. I mean, it's important to have change of clothes. So at least 4 different clothes, morning and evening attire, isn't it?
Exactly. then you will drive me nuts, and I'll have a heart attack. But if you bring too much, we will just sell it off there.
That's good. There's lots of tourists, I heard. So
we already have an eBay page set up.
Yeah, exactly. And then on the ferry or at the start line for the short course, you will be provided a GPS tracker. And I want to talk a little bit about the GPS tracking system. This fjord is famous for not having coverage all out the fjord. But we are doing the tracking system irrespectively, because we know that helps us to find out where you are. And this is used for us to find you, not for your people at home calling us when you haven't moved for half an hour. Because coverage will come and go in the fjord. This GPS tracker is sending the signal from the satellite, but in order for that to be conveyed onto cyberspace or the cyber world, you actually need to have mobile coverage. And the mobile coverage in this fjord is not the most reliable one. Mm-hmm. But it will pop up when you get back on the pulpit. So especially between Brattli and the pulpit, it will be limited access. We will post a GPS tracking link on our Facebook page and on social media on Friday. But folks, tell your people at home that will be watching and tracking you that if you haven't moved for an hour, doesn't mean you're standing still.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good to know.
The GPS systems aren't they aren't perfect. So we've seen GPS trackers just stop transmitting, and it looks like you haven't moved in 4 hours. So it isn't perfect. And as a racer, I've gone to races with GPS trackers before, and sometimes they don't work the greatest. And I'd like to say a little something about GPS in general, because it's not just the mobile coverage that's a problem, but even the GPS signals themselves can get out of whack because there's so much rock and so many cliffs and so many trees. If you're wearing a GPS watch, do not follow that GPS watch. Follow the course markings. If you go off course because you're following your GPS watch, I'm sorry, but that's your fault. Please follow the course markings. And use your GPS watch if you want to measure and record what you've done, but don't use your GPS watch as how you're going to get from point A to point B in the race. Follow the course markings.
Yeah. The course markings. Talk a little bit about those.
Well, there's 3 primary markings that you're going to see throughout the race course. The bulk, the very large bulk of the course, we're using the tourist trail markings, which are spray painted red tees that are on rocks, they're on trees, and different things in the area. So that's primarily the bulk of the course. When you do not follow these tees is when you see red and yellow tape or orange Rockman flags. So those are deviations from the red tees. So those always take precedence. If you come across a red and yellow piece of tape or a orange Rockman small flag, those are always going to take precedence over the red tees. But
and we also have some arrows at some places. So basically, follow the markings.
Right.
Markings first. Yes.
Yes.
That's good. That's good.
But also know if you follow the markings and you go wrong and you pick up a red tee and keep on going, obviously you might be lost. What you then do, you turn back and you go back to where you had the markings, and then you follow the markings.
Right.
We have basically marked the course in a way of when you hit major turns, you are marked ahead of the turn and into the turn you're going to follow. And then it might not be yellow and red flag, tape for some time. Then you follow the T's. And then before a new turning, you do elsewhere. At some turning points, we have marshals that will guide you as well.
Okay, on the most important, for example, the 2-minute on the pulpit.
The 2-minute on pulpit is gone.
It's gone? Oh,
yes.
Is it? Oh, that's sad. Okay, but understandable.
It was there because we want to take photos of everybody, but if you're going to stand in line to get a 2-minute photo on Saturday, you probably have to wait an hour because the queue will be so long. So you go and tag in with our race marshals. They will note your name, your bib number, before they actually let you go.
Right.
If you don't find them, you have to find them.
Right. Okay, so if you don't find them, you don't get credit for being there. If you don't get credit for being there, you haven't completed the course.
Yeah,
that's important. Yeah, so do that, and also you should go there, even if you. I mean, you don't have to stand in line, but still, you don't have to be on the tip of it to enjoy it.
Or be like Marcus yesterday. I think he ran around there and kind of photobombed the queue.
Had a little fun with it.
You should post that one.
I should. Yeah,
that was hilarious.
So
and all the people were laughing when I was doing it, so it was good.
Yeah.
The boat leaves at 5. How long does the boat take before we jump into the water?
For the one on the long course, roughly an hour and a half. We intend to start the race 6:30 in the morning. That might be a little bit, on and off. That's ish. Okay?
Ish.
Yeah, and the water temperature on 6:30 in the morning, you would imagine?
Well, it's like we get this question a lot. And I always reply with, what's the weight of a stone? It is what it is. Stop worrying. It's warm enough. I was swimming yesterday without wetsuit at the lake. I think we're looking at, I would say, from 14 to 17 degrees, somewhere in that range.
I think the seawater at the beginning of the race is pretty nice, around 15, 16, I think.
Yeah.
But it would probably be a little bit colder up at Flurly. But still, then you're warm from all the running, and it would be nice to do a
It's not cold. It's just refreshing.
refreshing. Yes,
Right.
that's a better word. That's a better word.
Yeah.
I think we measured yesterday at Songasan. We measured around 15, and up at the I can't pronounce the name of the lake.
Skogavatnet.
Yep, the lake that you swim between Brattli and Pulpit. It was around 14 and a half, so it was a little bit colder.
Yeah.
But I would expect that with all the creeks and streams that are dumping into near Brattli, that as you swim from Bakankai to Brattli, it'll gradually get a little bit colder.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion, not to be reflected in whole of Rockman.
Yeah, but they have suits on and they're ready for and they're ready for this. I mean, if you come to Norway and think it's warm, then well, just it's going to be refreshing.
And you know, the most frequently asked questions to a race director is, what's the water temperature?
Yep.
And we actually got the same question from a different race director. We're not going to name names, but his reply is, Thor says it's warm enough.
Thor says it. Yes. Well, that's you got that there. So okay, jump in the water. It's warm enough, says Thor. Then you go, you swim, and end up that in the beginning of the stairway to heaven, and then we could talk a little bit maybe about what food and stuff.
Yes, aid station.
8 stations.
The first major aid station is when you get off the mountain down at Flurly. At the top of the stairs, it will be some energy type of candy. Your favorite...
the banana candies.
The banana candies and the red... those red fishes.
Oh, the Norwegian good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will not be any major food station in the beginning, so you need to bring your own for that segment.
Yeah. There will not be gels or anything. It will be candy. No. Candy and... Okay, yes.
Candy.
Yeah.
Candy.
But I like candy, so that's
yes. We don't have a vegan option as such, but I think those candies should be vegan friendly, if I recall. Should be.
They look like animals, but maybe they're not animals.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe.
Exactly. So the major aid station is when you get off the mountain before the fjord crossing. After the fjord crossing, it will be Norwegian waffles at the farm after the scree. Then it will be additional food at Songesand halfway. For the short course athletes who starts at Songesand, first major food station will be Bakenkai, not far from Songesand. And then it will be at Brattli. And then it gets tricky, because from Brattli to the finish line, it's not that much options for us as race organizers. But we have aid station at the crossing, which you will pass twice. First, when you get off the trail towards the tourist trail, you turn left, go into the pulpit. You can grab some food there, and then when you get back from Preikestolen to the same aid station, and that's the last aid station before the finish line.
There's no drinks at these stations?
Well, you have to drink from the creeks along the course.
Yes.
Rockman style.
Rockman style, yes. Of
but
course.
at the major ones, at the seaside, there we will have water and energy drinks from Precision Hydration. Unfortunately, at that crossing point at the pulpit, it will be hard for us to carry the amount of water, and harvesting creek water at these sites is not advisable because of the number of tourists. And we don't recommend people to drink creek water from after the pulpit.
Okay, there's different stuff in that than the rest of the trip.
Yes.
Got it. That's valuable information. But I mean, how it's not that far. It doesn't look that far from the pulpit to the tourist. I mean, you come a far away in the course when you're at that point. So eating or drinking something at that last station should cover you for the last bit. I think
it should. But please note, from when you hit the hidden trail, where we deviate from the course, the tourist course, going back to the base camp, it's technical. And when I say technical, it's Rockman style technical.
Of course.
I was out there marking it yesterday, and it took me more than 3 hours to mark that section. Okay.
Damn you. Okay, so that's like the last, just a little slap in the face.
Slap in the face is a slap twice, 2 or 3 times, multiple slaps.
Very good.
And then I'll admit, when we altered the course markers and we added that refreshing swim at the Refsvatnet, I was like cursing myself for doing that, because it adds a lot of flavor to it. So that's an additional slap in the back of your head, to put it in that way.
Oh my God. So don't be prepared for everything, guys. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
He's an evil guy, that Rockman.
But it's probably the most beautiful part of the course.
Yeah.
So really make sure that you take time and you look around as well.
Yeah,
But that brings us to another point, which is important to emphasize. Cutoffs. We will have to modify them, because course marking that section yesterday realized that doing the 5:45 cutoff at the intersection is not sufficient. We need to up that to 5 o'clock.
yeah, so longer, basically.
No, shorter.
Shorter.
You need to
Okay.
be faster.
Okay.
If not, we cannot guarantee you that you actually are off the mountain before it gets dark if you arrive at 6 o'clock at the intersection. Because you have to go to the pulpit, back, down the trail, into the hidden trail, which I used more than 2.5 hours to mark. And if you are there that late racing, you will not be faster than what I was marking.
No, that's true. But
And we have to look for that actually for safety for the athletes and the marshals. So we will up that to 5 o'clock at that crossing. If
so
we
17:0, I mean 5. So
Yep, 1700.
yeah, because you
1700.
start out at about 6:30 in the morning, and so it's far out in the. But what happens if you don't explain a little bit better this? Because
if you don't make the cutoff, we will take you out of the race. We will take your tracker with us from that point, and Marcus will be there at 5 o'clock to make sure that that happens sufficiently. And then we will walk to the pulpit together and walk the tourist trail back down.
Okay, so you will, of course. So it's not. You will still have. It's just a matter of the last part.
Yes.
Of the. Okay, that's.
So we will not slap you in the face running around the hidden trail.
Yeah, it would be even more difficult if it starts getting dark.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And it's so technical in that part of the course that we have to make that measure.
That's. I think that's. Well, that's important information. But we just have to run faster, and then I mean.
And it should be sufficient time.
Right.
It's-
And I've gotten some questions about the cutoffs, and my response is always just keep moving. So if you run when you can run, if you get to a flat rock section, if you get to a piece of the trail that's runnable, run it. If you're hiking up a hill, hike hard, hike with purpose. So just keep moving. In the aid stations, get your aid and get out of there. Don't wait around. So knowing that you've got these cutoffs coming, just keep moving. That's what swim run's about.
And on this course favors the one that are skilled in technical terrain.
Right.
You might be a very fast world championship athlete on the flat terrain, but here is a different dynamics. So here it's about keeping moving, like Marcus says, in a safe manner, of course. But if you keep moving, keep your leg moving all along, you shouldn't have any issues making the cutoff.
Oh, that's good. I mean, and it's also for safety. It's not to be cruel. So I mean, just accept that if you're that late, it's fine.
Okay, let's say you don't make the cutoff. Trust me, you'll have the best day of your life, irrespectively, because you will experience something that very few other people has done. And frankly, to be an Rockman athlete is what defines you as being a swim runner. People say if you haven't done Rockman, you are not officially a swim runner, and that's kind of true as well. And the thing here is that it's about the experience more than about the time finishing. Yeah,
that's. I agree. I mean, there's. I still remember some of the, just the looks. When I was at the top of the stairs and just watched out. I think people that have not done this before will be pretty shocked about what we can offer here. I mean, the nature of and I mean, for me also, I mean, it was something completely different.
Yeah, I also get a different question quite frequently. World Championship, 70K-ish. Why does people have the same average finishing time at Rockman as the World Championship? It's because of the terrain, remoteness, and the altitude. Because you go up, you go down, you go up, you go down. So come prepared, come and have fun, smile. It will be great.
I'll be smiling.
Yeah.
I think I only have about the kids race.
Yes, we will do a kids experience around about 5 o'clock for the kids that show up at the finish line area to keep them busy. We will have somebody making a few swims, a little bit trail running, but it will be safe. They will get the Rockman bibs and what they need, and a few giveaway prizes for the ones that show up. So we are very happy that we can do this year. We would have wanted to have a proper kids race and a proper experience race. But with all of this changed logistics, turning the course around this year, we have been focusing on doing that properly. But we have already made plans for what the Rockman experience will be, which is a short course, shorter version, starting at the Pulpit Base Camp, finishing there for next year. And then we also plan to do a kids race. So
it's been very, very exciting to talk about. We're still getting ready for this year's race, but we've had lots of discussions about next year and having the long course, short course experience and the like you're saying, the proper kids race.
Yeah.
Oh, so much. So people should just join for the next year already.
Yep.
I'm going to. I'm pretty sure about that. So
and I can announce today that the date will be 17th of August. If all goes well. And that happens to be on my birthday. And you know the episode the next year is going to be called? Birth of a Legend.
Oh, there you go. There you go. That's good. So just a quick roundup. The finish line, you come to the finish line and then what happens? Is there anything there?
Yes. You had the bag drop that you dropped in the morning will be there, provided for you. There is limited access to showers. If not, take a dip in the fjord. Freshen up. There is a meal afterwards, provided by us, basically. You will get a meal voucher, and it's quite simple. No voucher, no meal. You will get that when you cross the finish line. Okay?
So but then you get it when you come there. So
yes. There are also hope to have some music. We will have a Rockman post-race party, access to buy beer. We are not allowed to hand out beer, and there are some restrictions of where you can drink it, but that we'll get back to. And we will elaborate on experiences of the day. And all of that, this will be able to meet Marcus and me, or either of us, during that time. And we will encourage and like your feedback as you cross the finish line. And one of the words that I got last year, I hope to be renamed. I will not use that foul language here, but it was made in a good way and a complimented way, not in any other way. So I've been called F that for being such a great guy, giving me this opportunity and so forth.
They have used foul language towards you, but in a positive way.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I was just watching you. I wasn't sure if I wanted to hug you or punch you when I reached the finish line last year, but I'm here now, so there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't have any more questions. Are there anything you want to add?
Yes, we have made a few course changes last minute, but it's simple. Follow the markings.
Yeah, and the course changes have been small changes.
Yes.
Nothing big or vast.
So I like to say, don't follow your GPS tracker if you try to track according to what's been on the website. There have been a few changes, but it's marked, so follow the markers and marshals.
Yeah, we'll try and update the map to show those, to reflect those changes. Yeah. But for the most part, I would say 99% of the course is the same as what you've seen on the website. There's just been a few, like for example, the creek crossing that we dubbed that as not being safe. There's a chance that water could have died down a little bit by race day, but we just don't want to take a chance there. So we have you just taking a little bit of an alternate path that's a little bit safer there.
Yeah.
So it was like 50-50 on what people wanted. I wanted to cross it, but I know I'm.
But Rockman wanted you to cross it, but we threw the safety card.
Yeah. If you've seen that video, one thing that you don't see in that video is with me crossing that creek, that water was pushing me hard. I was fighting it pretty hard.
Yeah.
Lots of volume.
Yeah.
And if you do slip there, the other thing you don't see in the video is what you had waiting for you. It was like a waterfall drop, and so it's like no.
That's good. Maybe some safety then, just a little bit there. Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lloyd. Thank you, Marcus, and everybody. We wish you a great lead up to the race. See you on Friday for registration, and race day morning for the best experience of your life. We hope that.
Yeah. And if you do have questions, reach out to us on one of the social medias, and obviously we'll be answering a lot of the questions at Pack a Pickup.